Hi there, Maggie here again. Latest in the series of Thoughts from a Changing Mind. Um, this is intentionally a two-part video. The original thinking was that I'd make the first part after I'd just come back from having my hair done, and you'd see how I was dressed going out for the day. And then we'd talk about a subject, and then I'd stop, and then I'd go and try and for one of the few times actually try a complete makeup, and then come back and show you the after and how I'm dressed to go out, and continue talking about the subject. Of course, life got in the way. The actual real reason I fell asleep, I ran out of time. So I'm still going to stick with the two-part video, but it won't be any changes between the two. Basically, what I wanted to really talk about, and also do a few shout outs to people, is about what it is about putting ourselves in boxes or groups that can be comforting and positive, and at other times it can be less so. It can be more of a problem. And before we get into that too much, as I say, I'm going to do a couple of shout outs. The first one is I must thank Amanda at Great Clips in Bloomington, Illinois, for doing my hair. She's a wonderful person. She is always there for me, and I want to tell her that we're always thinking of her too. Also want to shout out to where I went tonight. It's called a place called The Bistro in Bloomington, Illinois. It's run by a most wonderful lady. We all call her Mama, Jan Lancaster. She runs the most beautiful place. It's so inclusive. Everyone's welcome. Everyone is made to feel safe and loved. And it's just the most wonderful place, and it is a true reflection of Mama. So I want to shout out to her. She is the most wonderful person. If anyone in this area feels in the slightest bit alone or in need of somewhere to land and be safe, you can't go wrong by going to the bistro and talking to Mama, because she'll put you straight and make you feel so loved. So I had a fine time there tonight doing karaoke, and that's why I got dressed up. But as I said, I've been thinking a lot about groups and boxes and everything else. People naturally want to put themselves in a group or feel part of a community. And as I say, in a lot of ways that can be very positive. And it gives you structure and boundaries and can be very comforting. The problem is, at times it can also be rather territorial, and once you're in this group or community, someone who's not in that group or community can be regarded with just, you can be quizzical about them at best, and sometimes it can be out and out fear or hostility. Now, it's got to find the right balance between the two, and it's all to do with celebrating difference and understanding that we all have a gift and a beauty that's within us, that not only should we recognize, but we pass on, and hopefully other people will recognize that gift we're giving them. Easily said, but I find myself sometimes finding it hard to remember that myself. A few more little sort of name dropping things really about how I mean about sometimes the gift doesn't come wrapped up in a predictable package. For example, anyone who watches America's Got Talent will know that one of the winners there was a young man by the name of Cody Lee. He's got many disabilities. He was led onto the stage by his mother, and people were wondering what it was all about. But he sat him at a piano, and the voice was the voice of an angel, and he was so gifted. Another one is if you go to The Voice, I think it was 2015, the winner was a person called Jordan Smith. Now you go to his initial audition, and they deliberately didn't show him before any of the judges turned round. So it was almost like we were one of the judges and we're just judging him on his voice. And he's got the most pure, most beautiful voice. And yet it was wrapped up in a package that was not what would be the societal norm for a pop star or a singing star. And yet he had that gift, and he went on to win. Sometimes you can't judge a book by its cover. You have to look beyond societal norms or the norms of a group or box to see the gift that is there and that can be shared and that you are being given. And it's amazing. The reason I called this whole series Thoughts of a Changing Mind is because it's amazing how many times the thoughts that I'm sharing are then intertwined with the thoughts that come later. And I've talked, I know, a lot about using the right pronouns and how you're treated and all this kind of thing. And I've also talked recently about my concerns about how I deal with my new gender when it comes to being intimate and talking about sexuality and stuff. And unknowingly, I've been putting barriers in my way. So what I'll do now is I'm gonna stop this part of the video. Anyone normally would be just doing a fancy edit, and it would just be one quick video. It's not the way I do things. I want to do things completely off the top of my head, just talking to you like I talk to anybody else. So I'm gonna pause this one and we'll restart it and we'll just develop the thought in more depth, okay? I'll be back in just a minute, Hans. Talk to you later.